Yeah, hi there. These comments, I'm going to use the initials of your first and last name, AC. So first of all, welcome to my online course called the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT. And you are a pharmacist. I am very, very well aware of your goals and what you need to do. And let's take a look at your question. So you say, I've tried a couple of times for the TOEFL. The main problem is the reading score. I don't get above 18 or 19. I'm really worried because I'm getting late for my license exam. Unless I pass the TOEFL, I cannot apply for my license examination. Please help me out. I have a test date on the 12th and the 18th of January 2013. I'm confident that by signing up for this course, I will be able to get the required score. So please help me with this tough situation. I have gone through lesson 1 and 2. I will go through lesson number 3. I have no idea how to proceed with the course outline. I figured out I have to go through all the lessons, but I want to be confident on the other sections of the test as well as the writing section. Looking forward to hear from you. I would say they're hearing from you. All right, here's what you want to do. Now, this is just my suggestion. Now, you can do whatever you want. You can use my course however you want. Now, I'm going to try to give you some ideas that can help you maximize your situation, and you can get the best possible score based on your current English abilities. If I were you, I would postpone your 2 upcoming TOEFL examinations on the 18th and the 19th of next month, or the 12th and the 18th of next month, right? So I would suggest that schedule a test. I know time is limited for you, but if you're serious about improving your English proficiency and not just passing the TOEFL, but if you improve your academic English proficiency, you will reach your goal on the TOEFL. But if you try to do things too quickly, it doesn't work very well. It's kind of like you're coming to me and say, hey Michael, I want to run a marathon, 42 kilometers. I haven't practiced that much, but I want to run one next month. I'd probably say that you need more time. And that's exactly what I'm saying right here. So first of all, I recommend that you use my course for 3 months, 90 days. I think that's fair. And then schedule a test in about 3 months. And if you do what I'm going to tell you right now, you should have a very good chance of reaching your goals after those 90 days. Now, number 1, let's talk about reading. Now, at my website, there's 3 particular things that you have to do to improve your reading score. Number 1 is improve your vocabulary. Learn all 1,700 words in the first part of my vocabulary course. That's number 1. You must learn those words. That's number 1. You got to learn those words. Now, the other 2 things at my online course is you want to make sure you go through my reading lessons, and particularly the IBT reading strategies. You need to understand what the different questions are on the reading section of the TOEFL and the strategies for answering those particular questions. So that's also very, very important for you to learn. You can see all those lessons in the reading part of my course. Now, also AC, in the reading part of my course, I have what's called speed reading exercises. There are 70 speed reading tests. Now remember, the purpose of these speed reading tests, it's not really to help you improve your ability to answer the reading questions on the TOEFL, but the purpose of my academic speed reading test is to improve your reading speed. But you must improve your reading speed to about 300 words per minute or more with 80% comprehension on those practice tests. Right? So those are 3 important things at my online course. Now there's 2 other things that you can do. You cannot do these directly at my course, but you also need to do these other 2 things. And the first one is read extensively, about 45 minutes every day for several months. This is very, very important. That's why I'm telling you to postpone your TOEFL examinations next month. You need to practice extensive reading for a number of months. You want to be reading newspapers, magazines, and longer books. If you want some good newspapers, I'd recommend the New York Times, the LA Times, maybe the Wall Street Journal. These three newspapers will have very high level vocabulary that's going to be difficult, but it's going to be very, very important for you for the TOEFL. Now, the other thing is, most of my, excuse me, I've had a back-breaking cold for about 4 days now, but most of my online students, AC, they also have TOEFL books. If you have a book like the Cambridge Preparation Course for the TOEFL, you might have a book called the Longman Preparation Course for the TOEFL. But any TOEFL book that has reading practice tests, you should start taking practice tests. And after you take a practice test, go over your answers. Pay particular attention to those questions you missed. And make sure you understand why you missed those questions and why the correct answer is the better answer. Okay, so let me recap in the order of how you should do them. Let me recap the reading things that you need to do regularly over several months if you want to improve your reading score on the TOEFL. Number one, you want to read extensively, about 45 minutes every day for several months. I told you that you want to be reading newspapers, magazines, and longer books. Books can be fiction or nonfiction, doesn't matter, but the books that you read need to have maybe 8 or 9 chapters or 10 chapters. They need to go over several hundred pages. Now, number two, you want to learn all the vocabulary words in my course, all of them. 1,700 TOEFL words. You learn those words, your listening gets better, your reading gets better, your writing gets better, your speaking, everything gets better by learning those words. That's number two. However, that's what I'm saying. It's difficult to learn 1,700 words by January 12th or January 18th. That's why I think you need more time. So that's number two. Number three, increase your reading speed to a minimum of 300 words per minute. You can do that directly at my online TOEFL course. The faster you read, believe it or not, the better comprehension you will have because you're having fewer distractions. You will remember more. And if you remember more, you're going to do much better on the reading section of the test, and you never have to worry about time. You won't say, Michael, I don't have enough time on the reading section. If you read at 300 words a minute, trust me, you'll have plenty of time to complete any integrated speaking task, any integrated writing task, and all of the reading passages on the reading section of the test. You'll be able to do all of those things easily. Now, in addition to those things, you also want to make sure you're familiar with the IBT reading question types and the strategies for answering them. You can also get that information directly at my online TOEFL course. And finally, the last thing I said is you want to start taking reading practice tests and then using that time to analyze your wrong answers and make sure you understand the mistakes you're making, why you're making them, and then why the correct answer is the best answer. Now, you cannot do that directly at my site. The reading passages at the reading part of my course, they're designed to increase your reading speed, and the questions are a little bit too simple for the TOEFL. But the whole purpose of the speed reading test at my website is to increase your reading speed. All right, so those are the things you want to do, AC, to improve your reading proficiency. It takes time to do those things. Now, the next thing. To understand a little bit more about how my online TOEFL course works, the first thing you want to do is go to www.voxypop.com. VOXOPOP. Voxypop. You want to join Voxypop. Remember that Voxypop will ask you to create a password and a username, and this will be different from what you're using at my online TOEFL course. Voxypop is a separate website, not directly connected to my website. However, the reason I like to use VoxyPop AC is it's a website that allows you to record your responses to my independent and integrated practice test. You can record those responses directly there online for me. So that way I can listen to them. So that's your first step. Make sure you join the VoxyPop group immediately. Now, once you join the VoxyPop website, I have two different talk groups that you want to join. Number one is my Better TOEFL Scores talk group. You want to join that talk group. If you're not sure how to join that talk group, go to my pronunciation lessons and click on a lesson like lesson 22. Click on that lesson. In there, you can make recordings from that lesson at my Better TOEFL Scores talk group. So join the Better TOEFL Scores talk group, number one. It's very easy to join. You just click join, there you are. But the main thing is join VoxyPop first and become a member of the VoxyPop website, and then you can join my two talk groups. Now, the second talk group that you want to join is my 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT talk group. Now, that talk group is where you can post recordings to my independent and integrated speaking practice test. So you should also join that particular talk group. Now, once you've done that, you want to record 4 speaking practice tests every day. Remember that my website, AC, I have 300 independent speaking practice tests for you to practice. I also have 20 integrated speaking practice tests for you to practice. So that gives you a total of 320. However, the rule is at my online 7-step system talk group, you can only record 1 speaking response per day. I do that because if you record more than that per day, it becomes very, very expensive for me, because I have to pay a person who has a master's degree in TESOL. I have to pay them to listen and score that practice test. That costs me a lot of money. So if you only record 1 per day, then I can keep the course inexpensive for everybody. That's what you're doing. I want you, over the next 3 months, to record 1 speaking practice test each day at my 7-step system talk group, so that we can listen and comment on that particular practice test. Now, number 2, you can also record 3 speaking practice tests each day at my Better TOEFL Scores talk group. There's no limit. You can record as many as you want there, because no one will listen to them. You're just doing that for self-study. It's still going to help you, but no one at my website is going to listen to it. So each day, between now and 3 months from now, if you record 4 each day, after 3 months, that you've recorded really probably close to 300 right there. And that's going to be very, very good to help you boost your speaking proficiency, to help you get very close to the 26 out of 30 on that. So those are my comments for the speaking. Now, the next thing, let's talk about writing. At my website, AC, I have 40 independent writing practice tests. Currently, I have 10 integrated writing practice tests. I recommend, and keep in mind that I'm in the process of putting 30 more integrated writing practice tests at my site, but they're very complicated. I have to write the scripts. I have to produce the videos for those scripts, but I will be doing that over the next few weeks. So you'll notice I'll be adding more and more integrated writing practice tests to my site. Now, like my rule with your speaking practice test, I also have a rule with my writing practice test. And the rule is 1 per day. You can record 1 writing practice test each day that you're one of my students. That means you can record 1 speaking and 1 writing practice test each day that you're one of my students. Now, I don't think you have to do 1 per day, but I would recommend between now and the end of the month, for the next 30 days, record 3. Record 2 independent writing practice tests each week, and at least one integrated writing practice test each week that you're one of my students. And that way you can get feedback from me or from my TOEFL IBT writing specialist, and we'll give you some ideas. We'll let you know what your score is. We'll also let you know some lessons that you can focus on to get better. So that's also going to be very, very important for you to improve your overall TOEFL score. So far, in this particular video, I've given you some tips to help you with your reading, with your speaking, and also with your writing. Now, the last thing with the writing, if you think you need the additional help, I do have an additional service. You're under no obligation to use it, but I will read and I will comment and correct every particular error in your essay. I will do a video of your essay going over my corrections up to 60 minutes. A 60-minute video going over all the corrections that I've made with your essay. I will even straighten out any organizational problems. I will even add details if I think they should be added. I'll explain why, and on and on and on. Now, this additional service is $50 per essay. I apologize for the additional price, but it takes me a very long time, and it's extremely mentally challenging to do this type of thing. But if you become one of my students and you find yourself stuck and you get around 22 or 23 points on one of your writing practice tests, and if you want more specific feedback, specifically, you want to know what grammar errors you're making and how to correct those grammar errors, I will, for the additional price, go over that essay. I will error correct everything. Again, so that some students will do that once or twice while they're one of my students because they want to just get familiar with the kinds of errors they might be making. And I'll even in the video recommend specific grammar lessons that you might focus on to help minimize those errors in the future. All right, now let's move on to listening. Listening is also a very tough part of the TOEFL test. Now, you made no mention of that in your email, but you'll notice I do have a listening section of my course. I have about 40 different listening practice tests for you. I would recommend you go over all of those listening practice tests and take those quizzes and just see how you're doing with that. And that's going to also help you with your listening. Now, there's two other videos. There's a video in the reading part of my course. There's another video in the listening part of my course. Both videos will show you note-taking. They'll give you some ideas on how you can improve your note-taking abilities for the reading and the listening sections of the TOEFL. And yes, you do need to take notes. That's going to be very, very important for you. Alrighty, so anyway, during the video now, I've tried to give you some general tips on what you can do to help you improve your overall TOEFL score. And the main thing for you now is to get started with your lessons. Now, if you use my TOEFL course for 3 months, which I think is probably the best thing for you based on your current reading score, I would recommend for the first month, focus more. Now, you can focus on all aspects of my course, but for the first month, pay more attention to the vocabulary, pronunciation, and the grammar areas. In the second month of using my course, AC, pay more attention to the listening and the reading parts of my course. And then for the third month, pay more attention to the speaking and the writing parts of my course. But remember, in the beginning of the video, I told you to begin posting speaking and writing practice tests immediately, right? So you can start doing that this month. But I'm just saying that each of these 3 months, you can pay more attention to certain sections of my course than others. Your next step is I would get out a calendar and start writing down on that calendar what you want to do each day that you are using my course. So that way you kind of hold yourself accountable for each week. All right, have a great day, and thank you for becoming one of my students. And remember, if you like my course, email somebody. Tell them about my course. Send them a link to the website. And then you can tell them to ask questions over at my Better TOEFL Scores website, and I will answer their questions exactly like I'm answering yours right now. Happy holidays and all the best. to your high scoring TOEFL success.